Hello and welcome to the show. Today I am back on BeamNG Drive with, well, just some destruction. Pretty much. You see, I was looking through all of the various mods and bits and pieces I have installed on this game and realised I'd never actually played around with the tank. Yes, there is a full-on tank mod for the game, which I am going to drive over various vehicles and see what can survive, if anything really can be survived being tanked. Now, I did do this a little while ago with the monster truck, and it turns out a lot of things could survive being hit by a monster truck. I have a feeling this might be a little bit tougher for cars to try and survive. We will wait to see. We're starting with the D-Series, which is actually a pretty tough vehicle. The D-Series pickup truck is a it's a tough vehicle. It's... But if anything, this is an amazing showcase of just how impressive Beam's damage model is. It's now quite a squish pickup truck. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I don't think that's supposed to happen. That wasn't quite the idea. Have we got the pickup truck like crash welded to our tracks? That wasn't really the idea here. Just clamber over it some more. Oh, that's a nasty crunching sound, and it certainly flattens. Does it drive? That is the question. Hold on a second. Let's just leave the tank so it doesn't run away. Does the truck still drive? Yeah. The radiator's gone. How do you still work? I guess it didn't snap anything important. Like, we've destroyed the bodywork. And things like the steering wheel is something that just cannot be destroyed in this game. I was expecting that to have at least snapped something important, maybe, in all of that clawing and crashing. Apparently, no. Now, it's much easier to just reset the tank than it is to drive it around. It's not very fast. It has about 4 mph top speed at best. I mean, it's not really designed as it is a sports vehicle. So, come on now. Surely we cannot be beaten by a D-Series. Shall we just do like a little tank burnout? When I say tank burnout, I'm just trying to find any way that we can do a little bit more damage to this. It's very squished. Oh, there was a crunch. Something definitely went crunch. I'm actually now trying to deliberately aim for the wheels. I feel like in many ways that's... Okay, the front wheel's in trouble. Now, can we aim for the back wheels? Can we try and get, you know, like a drive shaft or something? Just ping one of those up. It's still... I mean, it is very, very sturdy. The basics of what keep a car working on Beam are quite difficult to kill. We can do a lot of damage. We can do incredible damage to the body of the vehicle. Does this still drive? Oh, the fuel tank's gone. We've made a tyre not circle. The front... How is the... Okay, well, the front left is not really very well connected, but it is still connected enough to steer. I mean, the tank's done more damage to this than the Endurodrome ever does. And this is still... I mean, the steering wheel is now vertical. In fact, the steering wheel is past vertical. That's quite impressive, and it will work until the fuel runs out. It's not quite what I was going for with this, but there we go. I mean, it's certainly... Okay, D-Series... I mean, it's not happy, and I guess it will technically... It survived better than expected. Well, if the big pickup truck survives quite nicely, what about a little... Well, I'd say it still worked, technically, by the end. What about this? The Bitron B2 is going to take on a tank. I don't feel like this is going to go very well for the Bitron, and that's the fun of this, as we will just slowly... Oh, it already looks quite poorly, doesn't it? And you know what? We'll just very, very slowly park on top. That's it's amazing. I've played a lot of Beam. I've played a lot of Beam over. In fact, it might actually be my most played game on Steam. And even now, this is still unbelievably impressive. Nothing has ever really quite done crushing damage. Oh, there's fire. That's a lot of fire. The Bitron's on fire. The Bitron set my tank on fire. No, okay, never mind. It's fine. Do you still work? You still work as well. Your fuel tank's gone, and that's caused the fire. However, despite the everything, Still working. It's fine. Nothing wrong with this in any way, shape or form, is there? No, I mean, it's still a fully functioning car. It still steers left and right. It's just on fire, and I mean, the roof's not where the roof should be. And I'm going to reset that. Reset that. Let's try. Okay, I've apparently got to get a lot more creative with my destruction here. What if we go over the engine and the front wheels, and just over the engine and the front wheels? Will that do the trick with this? Yeah, like I played around the monster truck, and the monster truck never really did the crushing damage. Not the crushing damage that you see from this. The Bitron, I mean, we have sat on the front of that car. We've restyled the Bitron right there. It's tank restyling, and I'm going to position myself. If it does still work, we're going to try going over from a different angle. Do you still work? Yeah, it's fine. It's not quite sure how that's fine. Again, mechanical damage is a little bit funny on this game, or like actual physical stopping damage apparently is a little funny when dealing with a tank. I mean, it's squished again, isn't it? Are we going to do enough to have... I mean, what's really going to stop this thing from moving is... It's just going to be the fuel tank, I think, that stops it. I'm trying to chew up the wheels. I'm trying to see if we can chew up the wheels. I mean, we've made a real flatmobile here. There's smoke... Oh, I think we might have actually really buggered it now. I mean, I'd say that's beaten. I'm going to reset my tank, just because... Technically, the engine still has drive. Technically speaking, I think it's safe to say the Bitron's gone. Technically, the engine is still working. Nothing else on that car is, though. Nothing else on that car is. That's... Oh, that is some seriously impressive destruction. Well, we have seen what happens when a pickup truck goes up against the tank. We've seen what happens when a little Citroen goes up against the tank. What happens when a stanced Comet gets run over by a tank? I mean... In general, running over stanced cars with a tank seems like a good idea. Although, to be fair, it's not actually the maddest stanced vehicle you can get. It's just very low. It's not got silly camber or anything going on here. Well, let's see. Oh, I mean... It's technically lower now than it was. Can we manage to squash the driving compartment to be lower than the bonnet? I feel like that's my new goal with this. I'm not actually lining this up very well, because I'm going over... I'm actually managing to miss the engine entirely. But I didn't intend on doing that. I should go over the bigger... Oh no, it's got chewed up. Tank, spit out the... Don't play with your feud. Just spit out the Comet. No. Can we get rid of the Comet? That's not what I wanted you to do with the Comet, is it now? I mean, I have a feeling the Comet's still going to work in order... Oh, the Comet's on fire again, isn't it? We're just setting fire to cars now. Little did we realise the tank's bigger threat would be to fuel tanks than to the actual... Oh... We're doing the Travelator again, aren't we, with this Comet? I'm going to have to reset my tank. Let's see. Does the Comet still drive after all of that? Technically speaking, it actually... Oh, I think I got my node grabber force up, because, well, a lot of cars are in a very, very poorly way. Does it still work? No. Oh, yes! Yes, there is drive. Briefly, but the chassis is so bent the wheels aren't touching the ground. Well, I got my goal. Have the bonnet as the highest part on the car. That was a thing that happened. Right, let's stop driving over the passenger compartment and start driving over the actual engine compartment and front wheels. What we're learning is, while wheel axles may die on the Endurodrome, where they don't die is when being run over by a tank. Like, the wheel axles do not die from crushing damage. Interesting. We have got the Comet at an awkward angle again, haven't we? Can we... Oh, that's not gone well. Oh, that's not going to be survivable for the poor Comet here. Can we get it all the way down the back of the tank and underneath again? Oh, that's quite crash welded in there, isn't it? That's quite crash welded in there. I think it's safe to say the Comet's not had a good... Comet versus tank doesn't go well for the Comet here, does it? Let's just reset the tank. It lost a front wheel, so even... Ooh, okay, now, because the node strength is quite high, if I flick it around, Oh dear. It almost had a bit of drive from the front. That's not even a Comet anymore. There's nothing left of that. This is quite good fun. This is actually, no, this is very good fun. It's still, again, I've played, as I said, I've played a lot of Beam. It's still amazing, especially with this tank, just the way the cars are destroyed in this. Can we, if we just go quickly, maybe over the Comet, it will still drive. Oh, it does like getting hooked up. The Comet actually really likes getting hooked up. Just, there we go. Dump the Comet off the back. There we go. We've just made a flatmobile. Everything is fine bar the radiator. It is actually... It's not even pulling. That goes in a straight line. It's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Perfectly normal car. Perfectly normal Comet. It can survive one-ish drive over by the tank. If the tank is kind... Weirdly, the Comet is probably going to be okay. However, if the tank isn't kind, and if the tank prats around... Oh, come on now, Comet. Have you not got the handbrake? I don't want to put the handbrake on. Well, there we go. Now the tank's not going to be kind to you. Yeah, if I prat around more than once against the Comet, we can generally destroy it. As I said, I'm surprised that it is the fuel tank that is going on these. I guess that's perhaps the most susceptible to the crushing damage, rather than other bits and pieces. Oh, I'm trying to bend the chassis in half again. Yeah, fuel tanks, or just simply bending the chassis to the point where the wheels don't touch the ground, are going more than engine. I was expecting, like, main engine failures and so on, and drive shaft failures. Maybe not with this, but main engine failures, but that is not the case. We have really pancaked that Comet. I mean, like, really, really impressively well pancaked that Comet. Does it still... This might even still drive, you know. It would. It does. It does if you can get the wheels on the ground. The Comet, whose rear right wheel is the current highest point on the car, bar the steering wheel that can't be crushed. Move over flat out. We could make better flatmobiles than you ever did. I mean, look at it. It is majestic of sorts. Very much of sorts here. That shouldn't work, should it now? That really shouldn't work. I'm kind of, in many ways, I'm kind of glad that it does. Makes this more entertaining. Still, the Comet, the stanced Comet lived from a good tanking. And the fuel tank's okay. It's only the radiator that's gone in this. The fuel tank survived all of that one as well. So, D-Series survives with ease. The Bitron, not so much. The Comet, not so much. However, if it's very lucky, it can. I feel like we need to go a little bit madder. And by madder, I mean, what happens if we crash a tank into a bus? This seems like physics might get angry with us, I'm not going to lie. I don't know whether the tank is actually going to be able to climb over the bus, or whether it's just going to punt it. I'm kind of hoping it will, or hoping it will chew up the bus. Okay, yeah, the tank will climb over the bus. The tank will climb over the, Tank. That's... There's been an issue. What? Can I... Oh, no, don't. We're going to... there we go. Perfect. I have parked my tank on top of a bus. Oh! And over we go. We have rolled the bus. We have torn a chunk out of the roof of the bus. However, that's not, again, it was mighty impressive, I will give it that. That was very impressive, tank. You can even play fun little balancing act games with the tank. It's multi-purpose, because of course, the treads are at the back as well, so when it ends up on the end, we do still have control over what the damn thing's doing. So if we want to climb over a bus, you've got to be very, very careful, because otherwise I think it's just going to fall over. Oh, uh-oh, reverse, panic and reverse, and then maybe some forwards. That's the ticket. Oh, what the... Can we roll a bus over using a tank? Oh, I was trying to get the treads in reverse at the right time to kind of use those to ping the bus back over. No, we are just going to go... Oh, just going to go... Oh, no. Reverse again. Panic and reverse. We're just chewing on the side of the bus here. It's not actually doing much to stop. Like, the very basic bit of the chassis is not actually twisting all that much in the bus here. And crash over we go again. Ooh! I very nearly rolled my tank. That's strange behaviour from the... So I mean, it does a huge amount of crushing damage normally, but it does bounce around a bit weirdly. The bus... That's fine. It's a little twisted. It's... Yeah, I mean, it's seen better days, I'm not going to lie. However, that is still more drivable than the buses are after a lap or two at the Endurodrome. They normally die, I think all the buses have died on the first lap, because the engines got hit. So, let's stick you in park. Tank, you are required for some more bus destruction. I guess, how would we actually kill a bus with a tank? If I guess we've got to either bend the chassis so much, maybe if we aim for the engine. So I'm going to try and chew the engine up here. This seems like as good a plan as any. Or we're just going to climb over the bus again, aren't we? The bus is quite resilient in all of this. Can we just... Come on, I don't want you to fall over backwards, tank. I feel like that probably is going to happen at some point. I feel like bus versus tank ends badly for the tank. Christ, the bus is being really stubborn now. I can't seem to get the... crushing damage that I need on there. There might be a bit like stronger bit of chassis at the back there that we're trying to crash into that is not deforming enough to let the tank climb properly. I don't know. Let's go again, shall we? Oh, no, reverse. Grab a reverse. There we go. That did some crushing damage, I think, on the roof of the bus. That's more like it. Now we can climb over it safely. Hold on. Parked. Oh, no, not parked. Almost parked on top of the bus. Grab a reverse. Oh. We're making a weird vehicular-based monument at the moment. Tank, will you just get off there for a second? We've made a nuisance of ourselves, I think. Quite a lot there. I don't actually think it's done all that much to the bus, somehow. In fact, the bus cares not for our shenanigans currently. There's a gear in... Oh, there's a reverse gear in there. Yep. Bus is still fine. What on earth would I have to do to kill this with the tank? I guess potentially if we manage to get a fuel... Again, if we can get the fuel tank. What if we attack it from... Just dead on from the back? Can we bend the back of the bus down enough? Like, we can't really crash welding to the bus. So... I don't know if we're going to be able to do enough really bending damage. Because, like, the compartment around the engine is actually super duper strong. Because I'm climbing a... Well, this is not quite what I expected. Oh, panic, panic! Nope! Tank down! I think the tank might have been defeated by a bus. I have a horrible feeling the tank might have been defeated by a bus. Help! Help! I'm very stuck. Can I mean, I know that the tracks... Oh, they're not touching the ground enough. There's too much guff on the top of the tank. And the bus... doesn't care. The bus cares not one bit for the tank-based shenanigans. I mean, it's an amazing amount of damage that we have done to the bus. However, it still drives. It still drives. So, turns out, if you need to defeat a tank... that's only using its driving over you ability, not, you know, ammo and stuff. A bus is resilient. It doesn't look very good by the end of it, but the bus beat the tank. Well, it's been a lot of silly fun. I highly recommend the tank mod. As I said, it's the damage... Oh, can we not get up a hill? Oh, bugger. Well... all the vehicles are stuck. It seems like a fitting end. I've defeated the bus. The mighty bus, took on the tank and won. And then me, prattling around slowly, has defeated the bus on a small bit of banking. Yeah, the tank mod is incredible fun. Yes, it's very slow. However, not very much can do that sort of crushing damage on vehicles. And it's just an amazing showcase for what the beam damage is like. Yes, the actual stopping vehicles from working side of things is surprisingly more difficult than I expected. I really thought we were going to see some more issues from the drive lines and that sort of thing, engines, from having a tank landing on top of them. Apparently not. However, bodywork-wise, it is mighty impressive. It's kind of what you would expect from a vehicle being run over by a tank. But yeah, it doesn't quite snap wheel axles or engine stuff in the way that you would expect. Either way, a lot of fun. I shall, of course, link all the mods used in the description, so you can download them and have a go with them yourself. We were going to have a very, very slow death of a bus. It's taken us a little while to get here. Though, is going to be it for this video. The bus is running down a hill away from us. That will not do! I think I definitely think the bus has won. We've just skewered the front of it. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.